What is up, guys? Welcome to the Dynasty Fan Podcast. We've got a good show for you today. Going to be breaking down our top 12 rookies post NFL draft. Draft just finished today, so excited to get this started. Going to be showing you our top 12 rookies as well as the tiers. And this is still very fresh, guys, really early, so probably going to change a few times until our real rookie drafts. But for now, I'm going to show you what we got. Starting off with number one, guys, and we have a tier of only two players. I know a lot of people have a tier of four. Starting us off right here, guys, with Bijan Robinson. No surprise here. And we like the landing spot too. I know some people were a little bit iffy on the landing spot, but goes there to Atlanta, right? They have Algier there, but obviously Algier may get a little bit of work, guys, but I'm not worried at all one bit. This is definitely Bijan Robinson's backfield now. They're going to run the ball a lot, guys. And Tyler Algier was even respectable down the stretch when he was the lead guy. Tyler Algier had some good weeks and really competed with his numbers, really competed with Kenny Walker down the stretch. So now you're giving that workload to Bijan. I'm really excited for Bijan this year. I think definitely he's the 101. The only person that I think you can contend, and I can see myself maybe taking over Bijan if I wanted in Superflex leagues, is going to be this man right here, Anthony Richardson. And really, if you're just looking at the overall ceiling, right, he gets top 4 draft capital going to the Colts. So I think this guy's going to be on early. He's going to be on the field early. Maybe if you take him a few games, they'll probably work him in to some packages early on. But just with the rushing upside, I know he's still developing as a passer, and that was one of the concerns. But really, he's improved every year, right? Since college, since he's played, he's been improving. So I think he can take that same trajectory in the NFL. Seems like he's a hard worker. Obviously, with the athleticism and the numbers that he put up, he's obviously putting in work in the gym and in the offseason. So Anthony Richardson, guys, just with the upside and the rushing ability that he has, I just see really he has a high floor now. Now that he's really, the worry was the draft capital. And hey, if he comes in and he doesn't do that well, if he gets benched early, right, or loses a shot. But with top 5 draft capital, guys, this guy's going to have years to prove himself and to develop as a player. And really, just with him on the field, even if he's not passing that much, just the rushing ability that he has, he's just going to have a high floor and a high ceiling for us in Superflex League. So I think the only person that I could see myself maybe talking myself into drafting over Bijan in the Superflex leagues would be Anthony Richardson. So for tier 2, we have CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, the next QBs off the board. They're in another tier, guys, because I don't know if I could see myself taking them over Richardson or Bijan, right? Or even competing for Bijan with the 101. So I got them right here in my tier 2. I wouldn't argue, guys, either way, however you want to rank these guys. I have them this way because really because of the production, right? We've seen CJ Stroud had great production. They both did, right? But CJ Stroud pretty much outproduced him in a couple of categories. The past 2 seasons, right? Even in less games, he had comparable yards, right? Yards per pass attempt, better average yards per attempt, more touchdowns on less games, and definitely had a better completion percentage. So I think for me, I'm going to have Stroud. This was also without JSN in the lineup for most of his season. I got Stroud right now ahead of Young, but I wouldn't argue with you if you want Young over Stroud. So that is my tier 2 right there. CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. Now moving on, guys, this next tier 3, I'm going to start with Jahmyr Gibbs, the shock of the draft. Gets drafted 12 overall to Detroit, shattering some people's hopes of DeAndre Swift. But it ended up working out for us with DeAndre Swift, which I was thinking it would. But if you looked at the excitement in the room when they drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, they definitely have big plans for this man. They even said it themselves, said that he was going to be a big weapon for them. So I think just the excitement in the room and that for them to take him at 12, guys, they definitely have big plans for this man. They're going to use him a lot, and really Swift, guys, was good. I mean, the thing about Swift, we always liked him. I mean, he was RB5, right, in most dynasty rankings, right off the bat, and even just with the pass catching usage, I mean, he was efficient. The thing with Swift was that he was just get injured, right? He just hadn't held up. So I know Jahmyr Gibbs right around 200 pounds. I think, guys, I mean, he's gonna get the opportunity, and he might even get more opportunity than Swift because the way that they were excited about this man, he's definitely in the plans for their offense. So definitely love the landing spot, right? It lands in a great offense, and also just the opportunity that this man is going to get this season. So looking at the next guy in the same tier, guys, our first wide receiver off the board right here, our wide receiver one, Jackson Smith and Jigba. He goes to Seattle, guys, and I know initial reactions, people weren't liking that spot, but I like the spot in Seattle, guys. Lockett is an aging wide receiver. You got DK Metcalf, right, taking some of the pressure deep. So I think, even with Geno Smith, I think that JSN is going to surprise some people, right? I think that he's going to be more productive than people assume this season, right? They didn't really use Noah Fant too much. So I think that JSN is going to have a solid season. I'm not worried about it, guys. And even if he is a little bit lower on production this season, Locke is gone after this year, guys. So him and DK, right? Really, the threat of DK on the outside is just going to be great for JSN underneath in the future. So I really like the landing spot for JSN. So that is my tier 3. Now, moving on to the next tier, guys, I think this is the biggest tier for me. Really, this 107 range all the way to like 111. I really wouldn't mind any of these guys, but my favorite guys are the first two. And so I would pretty much probably want to be 107, 108. But the guys behind them, I don't mind either. So right here at 107, my 107 is going to be Quentin Johnson. He was my wide receiver 2 pre-draft. Still my wide receiver 2, guys. I don't mind the argument for Addison, but Quinn Johnson, guys, lands in a great landing spot, tied to Justin Herbert for the next few years. So just a great landing spot. And right now, guys, I know some people are a little bit concerned with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams there, but Quinn Johnson, guys, he's going to get opportunity very early. I think that he's going to have some big games, really just some big plays where he just pops, right? Even if he doesn't get that much targets, it's not going to take much. Similar like Christian Watson, where he might just have all of a sudden a 60-yard touchdown one game. I think that's what you're going to see with QJ. And guys, they missed the majority of the season. Keenan Allen missed pretty much most of the season, and Mike Williams missed multiple games as well. So I think when that happened, guys, Josh Palmer, right, was relevant. Josh Palmer was looking really good and helping our fantasy team. So can you imagine if any of these guys? I think he's going to do well already, right, where he's going to pop for us. And then if there's any injury to Keenan Allen or Mike Williams, which is very possible, it's going to be wheels up early on next year for Quinn Johnson. So I like Quinn Johnson for sure at my 107. And going into my 108, next guy I really like is going to be Jordan Addison. I love the landing spot, guys, my Minnesota Vikings. So Jordan Addison coming in, filling in for that Adam Thielen role. But I think with Justin Jefferson there, guys, just demanding all the attention, taking that number one coverage and the number one cornerback and the pressure off of Addison. When Thielen and Jefferson were together, guys, they were both early on, they were both top 15 wide receivers that year. So I think that there's definitely going to be opportunity in the Minnesota offense for Jordan Addison. And like I said, even with TJ Hawkinson and Justin Jefferson, I think it's going to take a lot of pressure off of him. And I think he's going to do well for us. So Jordan Addison right now is my 108. Moving into my 109. And really, both of these two guys could be really together. But I got Devon Achane from Texas A&M landing in a great spot, guys, to Miami. I will say, guys, they were rumored to be interested in Dalvin Cook. So if that happens, obviously, it's going to be game over for Achane for at least this season. But right now, Devon Achane, guys, I really like it. Heads to Miami, gets day 2 draft capital, drafted 84th overall. And I really like the landing spot, guys. I know he's a little bit smaller, but I don't think it's going to take much for him to be productive in that offense. There in Miami with Mike McDaniels, he just gets the most of his players, definitely utilizes their speed. So I'm liking Devon Achane here in Miami. I think he's going to get good opportunity. I think he's going to make some big plays, right? The way that offense is with Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, we saw Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert just big games on the ground. Devon Achane, guys, with his speed, going to come in and definitely do much of the same. And also in the passing game, guys, he's good in the passing game. So I like Devon A. Chain. I like this spot. So I have him right now as my 109 in rookie drafts. So coming in at the 110, guys, right now, I have Kendre Miller. It's from TCU. So Kendre Miller goes 71st overall to New Orleans, guys. And right now, the Saints, they got Alvin Kamara, right, 27 years old. You got Jamal Williams, 28 years old. And Jamal Williams, guys, is just a jag, right? Last year, he had good production, guys, pretty much all the touchdowns, but he wasn't very efficient. So Kendre Miller definitely has the upper hand on Jamal Williams. And then the other concern is Alvin Kamara. But I think with Kamara, guys, you have the suspension possibly coming. It just seems that the Saints are pretty much done with Kamara. Struggled last season. He doesn't seem to be like he's in that much of favor with the team anymore. So I think that Miller definitely has a shot at being the RB1 this next season. I think that the pathway, though, for him is a little bit trickier. I think A-Chain right now, guys, I have ahead of Miller just because I think the pathway to being the lead RB is a little bit easier. I think it's going to be easier for A-Chain, but definitely Kendre Miller, I think, is going to have a solid shot at it as well. And who knows, Kamara could even be dealt, right, traded or cut or something. So I think either of these two guys, I like them. I don't mind if you have one over the other, but these are my 109. I got A-Chain and Miller at my 110. So coming in at 11, guys, and this is my wide receiver 4 off the board. And these fell in line exactly how I had them pre-draft. I have Zay Flowers, guys, going to Baltimore Ravens. And I know a lot of people like Zay Flowers. I really like Zay Flowers, guys. Definitely talented player, has a lot of upside. The only thing the concern is the landing spot, guys, with Baltimore. They got Rashad Bateman still. They got Mark Andrews, who is going to be their #1 target still. They like to run the ball a lot. So Zay Flowers goes in a tough spot. They also have OBJ, which I'm not worried about there. I think Zay Flowers is going to do well, but I like the other landing spots better, right, over those players, and I actually like the players better. So I still have them the same as I had pre-draft, but still like Zay Flowers in Baltimore. Just gonna have him as my 111, and I think he'll be the end of this tier. I wouldn't mind having any of these guys on my teams if I'm picking in the end of first round. So moving on, guys, my 112. I'm going to put two players out here, guys. It's kind of cheating right here, but I wouldn't mind either way, guys. You have Dalton Kincaid lands in a great spot with Buffalo. We've seen Knox, guys, do really well just off of the touchdown upside, and I think Kincaid offers so much more. I think he can be pretty much their #2 target there, and I think he's going to get a lot more receptions. He's going to get more receptions than Knox, and he still has the touchdown upside. So I really like Dalton Kincaid, just a great landing spot. I have him here at the end of round 1. Especially in tight end premium, guys, definitely going to be big for you. And then after that, guys, I'm putting in Will Levis in here because I can see Will Levis, he fell out of the first round, but still got decent draft capital right in round 2. And guys, Tannehill struggled this past year. So if Tannehill struggles again, I think we could see Will Levis out there this season. And maybe he does well, right? He's got Burks there. They got Tajay Spears now. So he's got some pass catching weapons. So I could see here if you want to put Will Levis here for the super flex reasons and you want to put Levis at the end of this tier, I don't mind it, guys. So I'm still going to have Dalton Kincaid because of the landing spot and the round 1 draft capital. But if you want to put Levis in here, I don't mind it. I'm probably going to build a tier. He might sneak into this tier for me. So I figure I just put him on here for this video. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. Be sure to like and subscribe and check out some of my other videos right up here.